Löwenstein Castle. This is BlueBrixx set 105428. It was released in June 2023 for about 130 euros. This construction block set consists of 1967 pieces. The bricks in the set are compatible to bricks by other companies like Lego, Kobe, Mega, and so on. This is a BlueBrixx Pro set, so unlike the special sets, it comes in this designed box and with printed building instructions. Sadly, there are no digital building instructions additional. You won't get any PDF file, which I would prefer. You only get the printed building instructions. But as far as I know, most people prefer the printed building instructions, and so this should be fine for them. Another thing about the Pro sets is that they come with different building sections, so the bricks come in numbered bags. You don't have to sort all the bricks before you start with your build. You just can open the bags for each individual building section. You might have seen this set before. The Castle Löwenstein was released by Bricklink in 2019. The Löwenstein won the Bricklink AFL Designer program, and so they released it as a set in cooperation with Lego. This was before Lego bought Bricklink. Löwenstein Castle was designed by Raziel Regulus. You might know him under his real name Martin. Nowadays he's probably the best known BlueBrixx designer. He designed, for example, Löwenstein Castle, a huge series of sets which consists of about 20,000 pieces, I think. One day I will show you this castle. I have already all the sets at home, but I just need some time, and even more important, I need to find some space where I can assemble 20,000 pieces. Well, another set I already showed you by Martin is Le Mans Saint-Michel, and there you can see what a really great designer this guy is. Well, he is the designer of Löwenstein Castle, and when you take part in this Bricklink designer program, the rights of your design go to Bricklink, but after a few years they fall back to you, and so that means Martin can now do again whatever he wants with his design. And well, nowadays he works for BlueBrixx, and so one thing led to another. He gave BlueBrixx his design to republish it. One rule of the Bricklink designer program was that your design had to consist of 2,000 pieces or less. As far as I know, Bricklink altered Martin's design a little bit before they released it, and so they ended up with 2,015 pieces. Our BlueBrixx set has a few bricks more, so we only got here 1,967 bricks. So, where are the differences between the Bricklink set and the BlueBrixx set? Well, first of all, the Bricklink set's box comes with this outer sleeve here, which has this landscape printed on it. You can use it as a background when you want to display your completed build. The BlueBrixx set doesn't have anything like this. Also, the Bricklink set comes with this 2x4 Technic brick with these holes on top of it. And on the side there is this 60 years of Lego brick print. As far as I know, this brick isn't used in the set itself, so you don't need it for the build. It's just a collectible which was included in the set. There's no need to have it to build up your castle. Well, here's also a 3D model of the Löwenstein Castle on the Bricklink side, and here we can see some more differences. Of course, we won't find any of this stuff which is seen here in front of the castle. So no minifigures, no horse, no apple, no chickens, no helmet. And yeah, it's a bit sad that we don't have the horse, because look at this. Here's a coat of arms attached to the horse. I think this is a really cool idea. But yeah, BlueBrixx doesn't have the rights for those figures. They are still Lego exclusive. This 3D model is also good to see some other differences. So for example, let's have a look here at the back side of the build, and there you can see that we got these chairs here, and there are these 1x2 brick modifieds here, and they are in dark tan, I would say. Remember this. Also, have a look at this tab down here in yellow or whatever it is. Now, when we have a look at our backside of the box, we will see that the colors differ here. Okay, so when we have a look now at our box, we can see that this chair here, or the middle part in this chair, this 1x2 brick modified, isn't in tan like shown in the 3D model. It's in reddish brown here. And also down here, the tab isn't in gold or yellow or whatever that was in the 3D model. This seems to be tan here. I don't know if this is just something which isn't shown correctly on this render image here, or we really got those bricks in other colors in the BlueBrixx set. Well, then now let's have a look inside the box. So, this is the content of the box. We got these 5 huge bags here, from number 1 to number 5. And well, each of these bags contain smaller bags with the same number. So for example, this huge bag with the number 4 in it contains several smaller bags, each with the number 4 on them. Then what else do we have? Yeah, here, this bag here is unnumbered. It contains these burbs here, these big ugly rock pieces. We will see when we have to use them, I don't know. Then we got the building instructions. On the first page, we can see that we got 5 building sections, and then everything starts with bag 1, step 1, and so on. This goes until the end, and the last pages contain the inventory. What else do we have? Yeah, this piece of paper here. It's a correction, so that means there must be an error somewhere in the building instructions, but we will have a look at this later. For now, I will start with bag 1, of course. I will open it and open all the smaller bags with the number 1 on it, and then I will start with step 1. I will come back to you if I see something interesting, or better said, when I see something interesting. Step 11. It's really cool how well the instructions are made. Have a look here. The positions at which we have to interlock the bricks are really marked well. The studs are even marked with these circles. Not only the arrows, how it's normally done. This is really well done. And another very pleasant surprise is the quality of the bricks. Have a look at this. There are no injection holes. The injection points are small, so everything is fine. And these bricks really interlock well to each other. It's really a pleasant surprise. Normally the BlueBrixx Pro sets are made with Xingbao bricks, and those bricks are often very ugly with huge injection craters. But these bricks here are very nice. Might be Go bricks, I guess. Step 35. In this step we have to place this dark brown rock piece here, and I think I haven't used it before. This rock piece is in use in LEGO sets since 2005 and appeared so far in almost 140 sets, but in this dark brown color it only appeared in 3 sets so far. Step 75. I just have placed the tab about which we were talking in the beginning, and yeah, it is in another color than in the Bricklink set. So our tab here in the BlueBrixx set is in dark tan, and when we have a look at the instructions which are available with the 3D model, we can see that this tab here is in pearl gold. Step 77. In this step we use another piece I haven't used before, this spider web with bar. LEGO uses this piece since 2011. Step 79. In this step we use a piece I haven't seen in ages. This is so cool. Nostalgia really kicks in right now. This bat used to be one of my favorite pieces back in the 90s. This piece is in use since 1997, and I'm quite sure that I first saw it back in 1997. I must have gotten it with one of those castle sets from back then. And it's quite interesting to see this piece again after so many years. And what's also interesting is the technique, how it is placed here. You can see the bat is placed upside down, hanging from the ceiling, like it should be. I have no idea why I never came up with this solution back in the 90s. My bat was always sitting upright, and yeah, that doesn't make sense when I think about it. Step 82. You remember the bag full of burps? The bag without any number on it? Well, we used all that burps, as you can see, in section 1, so there aren't any burps left, at least not of this kind. I have no idea why there wasn't a number 1 on this bag. They simply could have put this bag together with the number 1 bags. Strange. What's also strange is that there are some spare parts in section 1, and well, we clearly need these bricks here in later steps in other sections, so I have no idea why these pieces came with the bags of section 1. Well, I think we have completed now the base of our castle, and now we can continue with section 2, where we build the donjon. Step 83. Here's another thing that I really like about the instructions. Have a look at this dark tan tile here. We immediately know that it is a 2x4 tile because it is written next to it. This isn't the best example. Sometimes there are huge pieces which we don't know how long they are or how wide they are immediately. In those cases, we have to look at the build and count the stats. Then we can be sure for which piece we have to look. But when it's written next to it, this is way better. So we don't have to think about it if it's a 2x3 tile or a 2x4 tile. We immediately know that we have to look for a 2x4 tile. This has already been done in previous steps, but I just forgot to show it to you so far, so I did it now. Step 85. I just recognized that in one of the previous steps in the first building segment, I forgot to place this merp here, this medium ugly rock piece. And that means there is at least one piece fewer left over in section 1. Step 109. In this step we use some bricks that are marked with a star in the instructions. I guess the star is supposed to be a reflection. Well, and the star means that we have to use bricks in metallic colors, which is shown here at the start of the second building section. Step 116. According to the instructions, we have to use in the step a 2x4 plate in dark brown. But we don't have any dark brown plate in this size in this building section. At least not when we have a look at the bricks that came with this section. I think this is supposed to be dark reddish brown, because have a look here. These are clearly reddish brown plates, and we have to use 2 of them. And these are the only reddish brown plates in this size used in this building section, but we got 3 of them. So I'm going to use the third one for the step here instead of the dark brown plate. Step 117. Maybe the instructions really wanted to show reddish brown instead of dark brown in the step I showed you before. Because have a look at the box here. These 3 types of plates are supposed to be the same color. I'm quite sure about this. But here in the instructions they look differently. So this is dark bluish gray, and those two look even darker bluish gray. But I'm quite sure that we are talking about these bricks here, and those are clearly all on the same dark bluish gray shade. I think there are just problems with the printing quality here. Step 126. Yeah, I was right that we have to use the spare parts from the first section in later sections too. So you can see here in this section, or better said in this step, we need this little door here, and it didn't come with the parts of section 2, but it was a spare part from section 1. Step 155. We have completed the dungeon, and that means we also have completed section 2. But let's have a quick look how the dungeon is connected to the rest of the build. So you can see we get these kind of rails on the sides of the tower, and here we got these gaps. And now the tower isn't interlocked, it just slides in here with the help of its rails, like this. And this is absolutely sturdy. This is really a cool building technique. Step 159. It's not so easy to see with which bar we have to connect this fence, whatever thing here with this clip down here. I would say we have to use the second one because the arrow starts here. But this would look a bit strange because when we place the second bar inside the clip, the angle is way too small. So it must be the first clip, the first bar. And now we have a way better angle. And yeah, when we have a look at the next page, here at step 167, we can see that it actually is used, the first bar. Step 168. I don't think I have ever placed flowers upside down. Huh? Step 223. Here is a little error in the instructions. Have a look at this plant piece here. It is placed at a position where it can't be placed. You see these two studs here, 1, 2. Now let's have a look at our build. 1, 2. And the plant is placed in front of and slightly on the right of the second stud from the left. Okay, once again, 1, 2, and that means our stud should be placed, our plant should be placed here. And we can't do this. It's floating. It would be placed here. What I'm going to do now is place it just on this stud, and I hope this is fine too. And we also have to place this bigger plant, but this isn't any problem. Yeah, it looks fine on this position. Step 224. We just have completed the third section of the build, and now it's time for the next section in which we have to build the palace. You know, the prestigious building which contains the Great Hall, for example. Step 235. In this step we have to place a masonry brick, but it's impossible to see in this image here to which side each of the individual sides of the masonry brick are facing. So you can see we got this more detailed side and this simpler side here. But now when we have a look at our build, we can see that we already have placed other masonry bricks. And this is the outside of the build, this is the inside of the build. And on the outside of the build, there's always the more detailed side of the masonry bricks. So I will place the more detailed side of the masonry brick like this too. So it's identical to all the other bricks here. Step 236. In this step we need 2 of these 2x2 jumper plates. And well, here's one thing with the BlueBrixx. As you can see, those bricks look a bit different than the Lego bricks. The 2x2 jumper plates got these grooves here, which Lego bricks don't have. What we have built in the step also differs from the Bricklink set. So have a look at our table which we created. When we have a look inside this bowl here on the left, we can see that we find inside it a 1x1 round tile. And have a look at this stud here in the middle, it's empty. And now we have a look at the 3D model of the Bricklink set. And there you can see that inside the bowl we will find this printed 1x1 tile, and in front of the bowl there sits this other printed 1x1 tile. We also get to see which parts are used here. So it's this one and that one. Step 237. Here is the next difference. As I said in the beginning, the chairs are not in the same color as they are in the Bricklink build. So you can see here that we use a 1x2 brick modified with 4 studs on the sides, so 2 studs on both of the sides. And when we have a look at our 3D model, there we can see that we have used a brick in dark tan. Step 258. In this step we are going to use 2 of these ice skates here. According to Bricklink, they are in use since 2011 and appeared in 70 sets so far. I personally haven't used them before. When we have a look at the instructions, it's visible that here is a star, a little star, which means we are supposed to use metallic skates, I guess flat silver. But the only skates included in the set are in light bluish gray. That must be an error. When we have a look at the Bricklink build, we can also see that they used ice skates in flat silver. So yeah, we got the skates in the wrong color in our set. Step 268. I think the instructions are a bit unlucky here. So first of all, I had a look at this little box, and I took all the bricks that I needed from this huge pile here, and then I started to assemble those sub-steps here. So first of all, in sub-step 1, I created this thing here, and now in sub-step 2, I was misled by these errors here. I thought, oh, I have to place this thing here on this 4x6 plate, like this. And then I had a look, at the next thing I had to do, which was placing this 1x2 plate modified on this thing here. And then I thought, oh, okay, that means I have to do this and yeah, put it below the 4x6 plate. And well, then add this thing, which we already had done in step 1, sub-step 1. I was a bit confused, but okay. And I made this. And now I had a look at the next sub-step, and I was way more confused. I didn't have enough parts to build another one of those things, and I was really confused. But now, when I have a proper look at the instructions, everything makes sense. So, when we have a look at sub-step 1, everything is clear. We build this thing here. But now, for sub-step 2, we have to ignore this part up here. Of course, it doesn't belong to sub-step 2. It's sub-step 1. And now the errors are no problem at all. We can see that we have to add this 1x2 plate modified to the part which we built in sub-step 1. Then we get this thing here, and we have to put it below the plate, like this. And then, of course, we still got enough bricks left for the next sub-step. In sub-step 3, we built this thing here, and once again put it below the plate. And now we just have to add these things here, and everything is fine. Step 288. I just want to show you how the staircase here is done, because I fear it won't be very visible once we have completed the build. So you can see here that we simply placed several 1x2 bricks on top of each other, and so we created a quite cool illusion of stairs. I think this is really a neat building technique. In step 298 we have to build this bed here. It really looks cool. When you have a look at the instructions, you can see that we have built the underside of the bed with this 2x6 plate in dark brown. This one over here. But when we have a look at the Bricklink set, there this plate was dark bluish gray. So we have found another difference. Oh, the top of the bed is also in reddish brown in our set, but in the Bricklink set it's in black. Step 311. Our castle can protect itself. So here is the gate where people can enter the castle, and when someone enters the castle whom we don't want to have there, we can simply turn this pot here, and hot content will be dropped on the enemies. I have showed you this now because I think in the completed build we won't be able to see this. There will be a roof here, and the gatehouse then is completely covered. So we only can have a look through the gate, but the top won't be visible any longer. Step 336. In contrast to what I said before, we still will be able to have a look inside the gatehouse once the build is completed. It's very easy to detach and reattach the roof. Step 351. The palace is complete. Time for the outer bailey and section 5. Step 368. In this step, and also in the step before, we have created this stack of wood here. And well, the 1x1 round tiles used in this little segment here differ from the tiles used in the Bricklink set. The Bricklink set uses 1x1 round tiles in reddish brown with a tree stump print, and yeah, our tiles don't have any print at all. Step 370. Our set might not contain the chickens from the Bricklink set, but at least we got the egg. It sits in this little chicken house here, which we place on our build, and I fear later on the egg won't be visible any longer because we are putting a roof on top of the chicken house. So we only might see the egg through this little entry here where the chickens can enter the chicken house, but I don't think we will be able to have a look through this little hole here once the build is complete. Step 411. At this point we are going to use the paper sheet with the corrected instructions. The difference isn't that big, but I think it will be important because of the looks of the completed build later. So you can see we have built this gate here, and next to the gate there's this tower bit. And now we are going to attach the next segment. And when we place it like shown in the instructions, it would look like this. So you can see there's quite a big gap here, and this just would look strange. And now we have the corrected instructions, and there are other anti-studs marked with which we should connect this segment to the rest of the build than shown in the uncorrected instructions. So let's do it, and then it will look like this. And as far as I can see, only step 411 is corrected. All the other steps are identical. Step 430. We have completed the outer bailey, and now it's time to connect it with the rest of our build. We do this with the help of this clip here and this 1x1 brick modified with bar. And there's now one problem. So you see the outer bailey got this these stairs here, and they will go in place like this. The problem now is that we are not able to connect it properly. Let me turn on the light. You see there's a little gap down here because of this plant piece. So we have to move it a bit so that the tip of it doesn't interfere with our stairs. So when I connect it now, is it interlocked? Yeah. It sits perfectly. We have placed this plant piece in step 223. Here, there it is. And well, when we have a look now at the step where we connect everything together, we can see that the plant piece is missing. It also doesn't appear in the Bricklink build, so originally maybe there hadn't been this plant piece. It seems that BlueBrixx added it, and later on during the construction they noticed that it's in the way and they removed it here, but they didn't remove it in the beginning. Yeah. I just noticed another difference between our set and a Bricklink set. Have a look here at this huge brick which holds the door. It's just one huge 1x1 brick with 2 clips in light bluish gray. And the Bricklink set uses instead 2 1x1 clips, 1x1 bricks with clips in dark bluish gray and a normal 1x1 brick in light bluish gray. Here is yet another difference. The donjon's roof consists of these 2 black pieces here, at least in our build. In the Bricklink build, the lower part is in gray. Oh, and we can also see that we used black Technic pins here, but the Bricklink build used blue ones. Step 432. The build is complete. And have a look at this castle. I think it really looks cool. I love this more realistic approach. It's very beautiful. So let's have a closer look at this thing. First of all, I'm going to disconnect the outer bailey again, because I want to show you something. You can see that we got this gate here, and here's a really cool play feature. By turning this wheel here, we can raise the gate. And here's our little chicken hut. This chicken house really is neat. Here we got wood if you want to make some fire. And yeah, I also like how this half-timbered part is added to the rest of the stone wall. I think this really looks cool. Here we got another little house. It's a wooden house. I don't know, maybe here are the stables? Okay, then let's add the outer bailey again before we have a look at the castle's hill. You can see that the outer bailey is distanced from the castle's mountain by water, and yeah, of course, by the difference of the level. So everything which sits on the mountain is of course higher than the stuff sitting in the outer bailey. To enter the main castle, you just take these steps here, and of course you have to hope that the drawbridge is in the right position. Then you can enter the castle. And this is really cool. This is really realistic because you can't just go straight into the main castle. You have to go through this corner here, and then you can go through the next door. By the way, have a look at this piece up here. This lion's head. I haven't talked about it so far, but I guess this is the part which gave the castle its name. Lego introduced this set in 2000 and they used it until 2019. I haven't used it before, so this is the first time that I stumble across this piece here. Okay, now we have gone through the gatehouse to the inner part of the castle. And there you can see the whole fortification stuff. This is so cool. From up here, you can aim downwards and, yeah, shoot intruders or whatever. This is nice. Oh, I think I showed you that before, but we can detach the roofs quite simply. And yeah, there is this pot, which I guess it's filled with boiling water, and we can spill all the stuff on intruders which have to enter the castle through the gatehouse. You can see here there is a gap, and the whole of the hot stuff will fall on the people which are trapped there. Here is the palace, the Great Hall. We can also remove this roof here, but there's nothing interesting below it. So let's put it back on again. Down here, here's the big chimney, and down here there is a little cave. It's where we can enter the wine cellar from the outside, I would say. Because when we have a look at the back side of our build, we can see that it's open, so we don't have built a completed castle, only half of it. But hopefully there will be an add-on later, and so we can close the backside too, and we will have a complete castle. But here you can see that here is the cellar with the wine barrel. Yeah, and spider webs, this bat here. And through this trapdoor here, we can enter the cellar from inside the castle. So this is a secret passage out of the castle, which hopefully nobody else knows about. Here's our kitchen. This is really lovely here. And all in the back there you can see the staircase which I showed you with the cool building technique. And here on the next level there is the bedroom. That's a neat bed. Here we got the coat of arms. And here are windows, which by the way look really cool from the outside. This is a fantastic idea. The dungeon is really cool done, the dungeon. This is really an impressive building technique. But first of all, let's have a look what's inside this thing. So we use these wooden stairs here to enter the dungeon. And then you can see here are more stairs, with the help of which we can enter the treasure room. And yeah, and up here, there we get on the roof. As you can see, not everything is in minifigure scale. I would say generally this castle is half the size of minifigure scale, but some stuff is in minifigure scale, like these stairs and these doors here. But you can clearly see that other stuff is not on that size. We just got this little door up here, and of course all these rooms here are almost useless. It's even for a minifigure way too small. Oh, and here is a hole which leads down to the dungeon. And yeah, here we can place our poor people who get into jail and just forget them. Well, I think they are let down through the soul here, and then the ladder or the rope is pulled back up again, and the poor fellows down here have to stay in almost complete darkness. Over here we got the castle's well, and when we look down you can see that down there is water, and yeah, from this side we can even see that there lives a frog. This is cute. By the way, this is one of the few parts I don't like about the construction. These stairs here. This is the only thing which isn't sturdy. It sits on these two, they sit on these two studs here, but I think the whole thing isn't really in the right position. I'm not sure. It appears somehow as if the studs aren't completely interlocked. I don't know. Now it's a bit better. But this is, I would say, the unsturdiest part of the whole build. Okay, oh. Where did that come from? I have no idea. I'll put it over here for now. Then let's go on. What else do we see? Here is the entry to the toilet. This is cute. And when we have a look from the other side, we can see that the toilet had already been in use. Here is a a turd down here. Yeah. Have a look at these trees. I think they are just amazing. This is really cool. I'd love to have a whole bunch of them. A real forest of those trees would look amazing, I think. Oh, and I just forgot to show you that the dungeon is removable. So it's no problem to just remove it and have a better look inside this area of the castle. And when you're done, you can just put it back. Okay, then just let me look for the other little 1x1 plates here. That's the oil, which we spilled on our enemies. I will have to search for the other 2 plates, and then I will come back to you. The build is really beautiful, and it was very much fun building this set. You can use it as a display set. Then I would recommend to only let it be visible from this side, because the back side is open. That often looks a bit stupid. But you can also use it as a playset. It's absolutely sturdy, and all the play functions work incredibly well. Talking about the sturdiness, there's one thing I don't like so much. This is that the outer bailey is only connected by this clip here, and that's not really a good connection for such a big segment. I wish that there would have been more plates in use to have the castle's mountain and the outer bailey just on the same base. But that's a minor critique point, I would say. The building instructions were really good. They were absolutely easy to follow. The only thing that wasn't that good was that sometimes it was quite hard to differentiate between the colors. I wish they would have marked dark brown with DB or something like that. Also, have a look at the inventory here. On the last page, we can see this brick separator, but this thing wasn't part of the set. At least I couldn't find it in my box. I can only recommend the set. It's so nice, and it's a beautiful display set. If you prefer the Bricklink set because of the minifigures, that's totally fine, but you can simply use this set and buy the minifigures on Bricklink. Don't buy them as complete minifigures, but buy the spare parts, and then you can get one of those minifigures for only a few cents, because these minifigures just consist of absolutely standard parts. I myself don't need these minifigures. I prefer this thing as a display set, and so I think this looks better without minifigures, because this is just not minifigure scale in big parts. I will put down in the description the list of the minifigure parts, and also all the other bricks that were part of the Bricklink set, but not part of this set here. I don't know if all these parts in the Bricklink set were really in use. I didn't check all of them. I just looked what were the differences between this set and the Bricklink set in the brick count. I compared the inventory lists. It might be that some of the Bricklink set bricks are just spare parts which weren't used, but nonetheless, I will put all the bricks that were not part of this set, but part of the Bricklink set in the description.